If your body's been doing things that you can't quite explain, if you've been shaking, purging, making sounds, moving your hands in strange ways, maybe even speaking in a language or tones you don't understand, you're like, what's happening? Where is this coming from? I want you to know something important, okay? You're not making it up. And you're not going crazy, and you're definitely not being overtaken by anything dark, which is usually what people will be afraid of, okay? But what you're actually experiencing is sacred intelligence waking up inside of you, and that is your Kundalini energy. And so your body is beginning to remember who it truly is when these things start to take place. They are an awakening that is now a physiological awakening, because a Kundalini awakening is the awakening of your body's technology. See, when Kundalini begins to rise, it doesn't just move through your chakras. It's not just energy flowing. It's actually a reactivation of your original design. You're not just a physical body. You are actually a living technology encoded with divine instructions from our creator. And Kundalini is that current that switches that system back on. That is why your whole body starts to do these things that your mind cannot understand, because this energy isn't moving from your mental. It's not mental energy. It is moving through the deepest layers of your soul's blueprint. So I want to talk a little bit about what these wild expressions are actually doing for those of you who are actually going through this and have no idea what is happening, or even those of you who are just witnessing this in others, okay? So shaking, this is your nervous system recalibrating. So this is how your body discharges traumas, it clears density, and it restores electrical flow when the body has come online. Just like animals have their own way of doing those tremors to shake away an impact, a trauma, our bodies also are built in with sacred technology that is built to heal us. We often hear people saying the body can heal itself. But what does that mean? The body can literally heal itself because it is a sacred technology designed by the creator itself. It is the biggest gift we have been given in physicality, these bodies. And these bodies are not just made of flesh. There's so much more when they start to come online, because everything is consciousness. And so what happens when consciousness activates inside your physical vessel? Well, at first, you're going to have sometimes these spontaneous physiological movements that you can't quite explain, or that may startle you because it's different, because you haven't experienced it. Because for the majority of your life, of many people's lives, our bodies have been offline. So something else that you can experience is what I call purging. And this can manifest as burping, crying, gagging, heat waves. This is your field offloading stagnant emotions, stuck energy, and even ancestral memory. And what's happening is that it's making space for more light. So as you purge out these dense, heavy frequencies and pockets of stuck energies in your body, in your fascia, right? When this starts to release, you are literally making more space for light to encode itself into your physical vessel. And this is why sometimes in this process, you also find yourself or see people doing these spontaneous mudras. All of a sudden, you will do all these mudras and hand movements. And you need to understand that these hand movements that just randomly, spontaneously show up, they're not random. They're ancient codes stored in your fascia. It's opening up energy gates. They're realigning your meridians and conducting subtle circuitry. So the mudras have a purpose, but you're not always going to understand what it's doing, but it's doing this, which really, if you were to feel into it, we are deconstructing the false matrix template within us and reactivating the original motherboard. Because every time that people talk about the matrix, it's always an externalized concept. It's like the 3D matrix, it's out here, it's the government, it's the 9 to 5. But the matrix is not out here. The matrix is an internal template. It is an overlay that you have absorbed, that your body is filtering its consciousness through. And so when this kind of awakening happens, it's this is why Kundalini, out of all the awakenings, it is such a physiological awakening, because it is the technology of your physical body coming online, because it is the restoration of the original matrix, of returning back to our original blueprint, to Christ consciousness, the motherboard, because matrix means mother, but we've been operating off of an inverted template, the false matrix. And we are now, through this process, activating, and that's why these subtle circuitries are coming back online, and these mudras and everything that's happening it's divinely guided, because we're literally having to deactivate, purge out, and release all of the frequencies, all of the bandwidths of the false matrix out of our body, and reconnect the true motherboard, so that our consciousness can project through its original grid inside of us, which is Christ consciousness. So for those of you who are going through this experience, you might experience the activation of light language. And this is your soul's voice, okay? This light language is not always meant to be translated. It's actually a vibrational key, because it speaks directly to your body. It bypasses the mind, and it unlocks parts of you that you haven't touched in lifetimes, okay? So this is not just energy. It's literally divine intelligence in motion. And so your body isn't glitching, it's remembering, it's coming back into full remembrance. And yes, this process can feel overwhelming, it can feel foreign. But what actually is happening is that your body is finally free. It's coming back into freedom. Freedom to express, to release, to align, and to become what it always knew how to be. And so part of this process is to surrender, is to allow the body to lead you, is to start listening to the intelligence of your body over your mind. Because for many of us, we have been living in the mind. We are so overly identified with the mind and so disconnected from our body. And so the more that you try to grip on, the more over identifications you have, the more beliefs you have, that cause you to be a person that needs to be very in control, the harder this process of awakening is going to be for you, the more chaotic it can become, because your mind will try to control, will try to understand. And in a sense, it's like the ego is trying to hold on to itself, and it's trying to fight against divinity. When if you just allow yourself to surrender and to trust your body, you're going to start to feel more and more safe little by little. And as you do this, then the answers that you're looking, that your mind needs, will come. But it's not going to come through control, and it's not going to come through you forcing it. It's going to come through trust. So if there's something I want to leave you with, is that your body is not the problem. Although the world tries to tell us that there's something wrong with our bodies, yet our body is actually a portal. And this energy, this sacred Kundalini, is not here to scare you. It is here to liberate you, to cleanse you, to purify you, just like this rain, to bring you back into your original coding of who you really are. And so you don't always need to explain every movement. You don't need to have the answers right away for what is happening. You don't need to understand every purge. You just need to be with it. You need to just bring your presence. Breathe with it, trust it, and let your body reveal the truth moment by moment, because the body already knows. It already remembers. And your mind will catch up in due time. I love you.